watching the Paul Orndorff Tony Atlas fight. We were coming during that same period of time right then, Rob. We were coming back from Wheeling, West Virginia, and Tony Atlas, I watched him right there stick a needle of about 3 cc's of test in his ass, and I thought, my God, and he was slamming doors, saying nobody could beat him up but Andre the Giant, and I mean, he was on his roid rage. And, I was driving, and Tommy Rich was sitting behind me. Tony was in the passenger seat, and Paul Orndorff was beside him, and Tony kept on, and nobody wanted to mention a word. I mean, Tony, he's a big, strong son of a gun, and you didn't want to get him mad. And nobody wanted to mess with him, except Paul's a guy that doesn't back down for anything. So Tony said, "Brian, would you move the seat back a little bit?" And I said, "Tony's got to move the seat back." So Tony moved the seat back, and he goes, "Move that seat back up, Murdoch." He called him Dick Murdoch, and,
right.
And the reason is because when him and I went to Louisiana, we ride in the back with Killer Cox and Dick Murdoch, these old timers that were selling out everywhere. And great psychology, great matches together, but they had a bench seat. Killer Carl Cox had a bench seat, or Dick Murdoch did, and he'd pull it all the way back, and we'd have to drive 300 miles, sideways with our knees like this. So that was the joke. If somebody pulled the seat back, you'd say, "Hey, move the seat up, Murdoch." So he tells Atlas, he says, "Hey, move that seat up, Murdoch." And he goes, "Don't call me Murdoch, Paul, or I'll kick your ass." Paul said, "You ain't gonna kick my ass." I said, he said, "Pull the car over." I said, "Oh, come on, guys, just chill out." He said, "No, pull the car over." And Paul says, "Pull the car over, Brian, right now." Tommy Rich is going, "No, guys, no, please don't fight, please." And I mean, he's really almost got tears, and he's got tears in his eyes. I mean, he started crying. I remember by the trailers, he was bawling like a baby. "Please don't fight, please don't fight." This Paul had a pair of tennis shoes on, a tank top, and a pair of shorts, and a cross, a crucifix. He said, "Brian, hold my cross, will you?" And I said, "Yeah, bro, no problem." Stuck it in my pocket. Tony Atlas had cowboy boots on, pair of jeans. He was ready to roll. They went out. It was a bowling alley. We pulled out next to this bowling alley, and we walked onto this like basketball area that had some hoops, and there was some little pebbles around. And Tommy started crying and screaming for him not to fight, and all of a sudden they just clashed and started rolling on the ground, and I hear, "Ah!" Tony went to punch him, Paul ducked, took him down, they started rolling on the ground, and you hear Tony screaming it to the top of his lungs, "Ah!" And Paul bit his ear off.
Wow.
Bit his whole ear off, the whole lobe right here. So Tommy ran and screamed and grabbed the little ear like it was a dinosaur egg, and carried it. And he said, "We got to go to the hospital and get this sewn on." So we did have to go to the hospital because blood was just coming down all over. And but Tony admitted right then, he said, "Paul, you kicked my ass, but you shouldn't have bit my ear off." And he said, "Well, you shouldn't have done this." And then they started to fight again. They were going to go for, they wanted to get out. Paul wanted to get out again. Tony didn't.
Right.
So we asked directions, left Tony at the hospital, and that was the last time that Tony was at Championship Wrestling from Georgia.
Wow, that's a great story.